Ha! Welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. I'm Thundercloud and Mum calls me James. Washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Let's have some fun and linguistic games here in the Seahorse Cafe. Today, well, I've got a few words of what the poets say. Alright, we'll do a better check that my phone's on silent here. Which it is now. And, alright. Let's start with let's start with acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which I broadcast, the Kamilaroi and the Banbai people, and acknowledging the continuing connection of the land of the elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that sovereignty has never been ceded. Thank you. Right, let's start with something not Australian. This Quiet Dusk Bird was Gentlemen and Ladies by Emily Dickinson. This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies, and lads and girls, was laughter and ability and sighing and frocks and curls. This passive place, a summer's nimble mansion where bloom and bees fulfilled their oriental circuit, then ceased like these. An absolutely beautiful piece of poetry by Emily Dickinson, who was very little known in her life, but after she passed away, became regarded as one of the most important literary figures in American poetry. All right, I am going to tonight focus on a very, very important literary figure in Australian poetry. You may or you may not have heard of her. She was she's actually regarded as one of the most important poets of like the 20th and 21st century in Australian literature. And this is, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Fay Zwicky, the Western Australian poet. And so tonight I'll be reading one or two of hers, one actually, that's all. And then maybe I'll do two. I might do Kaddish and Picnic. Then I've got a few other from Randolph Stowe and a few other Western Australian ones. And then I'll be rounding off the night with a couple of these interesting books I've received lately. This lovely one of James Macaulay with paintings by Patricia Giles. And it was it was a collaboration where she painted and he did the poetry to it. So I'll be showing you the artwork as well with that one. Then we've got Judith Wright's Birds poem, which is accompanied by a whole bunch of really beautiful plates of birds as well. And finally, some Rosemary Dobson, a celebration here. And then I'll round off the night with a little bit of poetry of yours truly. That'll be me. Well, so let's get the show on the road. Before I move into Fay Zwicky, I'd like to do a poem of a fella called Yintilypirna Kaalyamarra, who passed in the early 1940s, a First Nations poet from Western Australia. This one's called Rows and Rows of Rain Clouds, and I'll be reading it in English, and then I'll read the First Nations language. Cloud bank, rain, cloud bank, row upon row of them. The big upper layer clouds are rising as a result of the host of little clouds multiplying. The country is heating up. In the constant thunder, it talks, telling us it's coming. The downpour is drenching the countryside. In the open country, the raindrops are causing a soft, roaring sound as the swathe of the downpour passes. Lightning is striking at the front. The storm is causing the dust to swirl around. Sudden silence, splashing of raindrops. Kaan Kurpanyu was the cause of this. And rain was Kaan Kurpanyu's Kalyarta totem, and he was therefore in charge of its increase. And it's considered to be the one responsible for the downpour. Now in the First Nation language. Yiri kuji yiri karti ngayirmani. Yiri kuji yirakati ngayirmani. Punatura ngara mainunyu. Kapalya kuru marnan yurulu. Ngura parlankana kamanu. Ngurtika wanka yula yinyu. Ngura kuntimanu. Ngulung kangulu. Par karanguraya kuji murkara jinjiranka. Ngari para panganu. Kululu karti gamparjali manu. Ngunit jartulu jamukara. Walpa warninyu kan kulpangungu. Right, moving on to Fay Zwicky, as promised. I'll read a bit about Fay Zwicky before I go on here, just so you know about her. Fay Zwicky published 8 books. The most recently was Picnic in Giramondo 2006. Her awards include the New South Wales Premiers Award, the WA Premiers Award, the Patrick White Award and the Christopher Brennan Award. Oh, there we go. This one is called... I'll get there. I will get there, yes I'll get there. Okay. Picnic by Fay Zwicky, and what I particularly love about this is the whole. As a daughter of immigrants, and there's a very a wonderful description of multiculturalism in Australia. Picnic on a green sweep of Kings Park grass, dappled with late summer shadow, I joined a picnic with Afghani refugees, sat sedately with the women, demure but sprightly in their hijabs, kids darting, tossing balls, larking around, politely into food. Meatballs Hummus and tabbouleh mingled with our sizzled sausages on paper plates, Coke and juice. Someone had found work. Someone had been accepted as a lab technician. Someone's husband still in detention 3 years on. Did she get to see him? No. Couldn't get time off after school, the kids alone, and so on. Under a tree far off, their fathers, uncles, brothers brooded, a still silent circle squinting into the sunlight, smoking, looking straight ahead. Nobody seemed to be thinking of a better world. Nobody was asking for more than a place to sit quietly and wait. What weighs the heart must sit it out till nightfall for release. Once everyone's asleep, and even then. Watching all of this in and out of it, remembering my own young wifehood as a stranger, my first child born in an alien tongue, the grey apartment block, the cold, the speechless folk who passed without a smile or nod, the men who carried boxed piled with lurid neckties from the Croatan fabric upstairs, a condemned building where we would all end up. The tenants roused the concierge. The baby cries. All night, that pram is blocking the foyer. Tell the foreigner. I took it 6 flights up and 6 flights down on sunny days. Wasps clustered over cherry jam. The tiny kitchen, scrubbed washboard. Hovering over a baby's, useless over a baby's wheezy breath. I rarely ventured out, avoided peak hours. In the cellar, armed with shameful nappies, took my turn with dread before the commune's idol, a glossy, water-driven centrifuge, its black snout writhed serpentine around the tub, soap-scummed water spewing forth from flood-tide wine to whiz to final cataract. Mesmerised, I bowed. Anyone can marry and have children, said my mother far away in a cloud cuckoo, land of Oz, savage with disappointment for her accomplished daughter, or the dead scherzos and maimed fugues. My mother-in-law noted dust balls gathering under the bed, the wilting red geraniums in their box, the cobwebbed pane. I didn't join the turban band of broad-assed women lugging rugs each day to the courtyard rack, beating out the grey frustration of their lives with rattan canes. She ought to be ashamed of all that dust, my mother-in-law's precise Hochdeutsch. You'd think my husband's life with me grievous enough without her fretful chorus. Months like this as Zurich wives and spinsters buttoned to the neck in black twitched yellow curtains pursed their lips, beat their fraying carpets in the yard, tumbled boxes of neckties passing up and down under wordless bearers, wasps landing, taking off, and I both in and out of it, learning how to live a life, sit quiet in a cold place, waiting to touch the sun-warmed earth. Picnic by Fay Zwicky. And now the other one, which is quite a long poem called, and it's Kaddish, written for a father born in 1903, died at sea in 1967. And I'm reading out of the the Freemantle presses, Anthology of Western Australian Poetry, edited with an introduction by John Kinsella and Tracy Ryan. It's, but Kaddish by Fay Zwicky. It's a very long poem. Lord of the divided hell, Father, old ocean's skull-making storm calm and the waves to sleep, visits his firstborn, humming in the dreams, hiding the pearls that were behind Argus, defunct Melbourne rag. The wireless shouts declarations of war. Father, says the firstborn, first time around and 9 years dead, weeping incurable for all his hidden skills. His country's medical journal laid him out amid Sigmund Volvulus, light on gastric problems, health services. For young children, yesterday, today and tomorrow, which is now and now and now, and never spoke his name, which is Father, a war having happened between her birth, his death. Yis borach, viis bach, viis por, viis roman, viis nash. Hitler is dead. The Japanese are different. Let's us talk of now. The war has ended. Strangers found you first, bearing love back. Your firstborn bears their praise into the sun-filled room. Hospitals you tended, city roofs and yards, ethereal rumours. Gray's Inn Road, Golden Square, St George's, Birmingham, Vienna's General, the ancient Alfred in Commercial Road, where tearing paper in controlled strips, your firstborn waited, restless and autistic, shedding lives, ours. Have to see a patient. Wait for me. Healing knife ready as the firstborn, girt to kill. Waited, echoes of letters from Darwin, Borneo, Morotai, Brunei. We thought him dead. But the little Jap sat up with gun in hand and took a shot at us. The heat, a pressing fist. Swamps, insect life, a wonderful war, said his wife, who had also waited. But wait for me, wait, understand, oh wait between the lines unread. Your firstborn did not, tested instead the knife's weight. Let in the strangers, apart from his high degree of medical skill, he possessed warmth, enough to make broken grass live, rock burst into flower. Then why was your firstborn cold? But listen again, it was impossible for him to be rude, rough, abrupt, a shy virgin bearing gifts to the proud first and only born wife, black virgin mother. Night must have come terrible to such a kingdom, all lampless creatures sighing in their black beds, stones wailing as the matted flew apart in sorrow, near apart, fluttered, fell apart as feathered hopes trembled to earth, shaken from the bowels of heaven. By day, the heart was silent, shook in its box of bone, alone fathered 3 black dancing imps. The wicked, the wise, and the simple to jump in the house that Jack built. This is the priest all shaven and shorn, who married the man all tattered and torn, who kissed the maid and all forlorn, who slaughtered the ox, who drank the water, who put out the fire, who burnt the staff, who smote the dog, who bit the cat, who ate the kid my father brought from the angel of death, never heard to complain. Response to inquiry about his health invariably brought a retort, causing laughter. Laughter in the shadow of the fountain, laughter in the dying fire, laughter. Shaking in the box of bone, laughter. Fastened in the silent night, laughter, while the children danced from room to room in the empty air. What ailed the sea that it fled? What ailed the mountains, the romping lambs bought with blood? Trembled earth before the Lord of the crow and the dove, who turned flint into fountain, created the fruit of the vine, devoured the fox, who bit the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate up the jack, who built the house, Yizgadal, Yavish Kaddish, Shmerabo, miracle of seed, mystery of rain, ripening sun, and the failing flesh courses of stars. Stress from Sinai. Let, roared God, great big Babylon be eaten up by Persia, be eaten up by Greece, be eaten up by Rome, be eaten up by Ottoman, be eaten up by Edom, be eaten up by Australia, where Jack's house shook. Be, said Jack's dad, submissive to an elder, courteous to the young, receive all men with cheerfulness and hold your tongue. Strangers remember Jack, who did as he was told. To the goddess the blood of all creatures is due, for she gave it temple and slaughterhouse, maker of curses like worm-eaten peas. As the thunder vanishes, so shall the women drive them away. As wax melts before flame, so let the ungodly perish before her. She is mother of thunder, mother of trees, mother of lakes, secret springs, gates to the underworld, vessel of darkness, bearer, transformer, dark nourisher, shelterer, container of living and dead, coffin of Osiris, dark egg devourer, engenderer, nurturer, nurse of the world, many-armed goddess girdled by cobras, flame spewer, tiger-tongued queen of the dead and the violent dancers, mother of songs, dancer of granite, giver of stone, let his wife speak. Honour thy father and thy mother, so have I done and done and done. No marriage shall ever consume the black maidenhead. My parents are heaven bound, I shall rejoin them. Bodies of men shall rejoin severed souls at the ultimate blast of invisible grace. Below I burn. Naomi of the long brown hair, skull in a Juliet cap. Do the dead rot? Then rot as I rot, as they rot. Honour thy father. Sing armistice bells. Espressivo. The stumbling fingers are groping to pitch of perfection. I am that pitch. I am that perfection. Papa's a civilian again. Mother is coiled in a corset. Dispenses perfection with castor oil, tapestry, tablecloths, white, rectal thermometers, xerny and prunes, sonatinas of hummel, the white meat of chicken, the white meat of fish, the maids and lost silver. Lord, I am good for nothing, shall never know want. Blinded, I burn. I am led not into temptation. The home is the centre of power. There I reign, childless. 3 daughters, all whores, all shall be devoured by the fires of Gehenna, should be dissolved in the womb that bore them, should wander the wastelands forever. Instead they dance. Whole towns condemn me. Flames from the roof form my father's fiery image. He waves and laughs, cools his head among stars, leaves me shorn, without sons, unsanctified, biting on. Bread of affliction. Naked I burn, orphaned again in a war. The world is a different oyster, mine. His defection will not be forgotten. Blessed be he whose law speaks of the 3 different characters of children whom we are to instruct on this occasion. What says the wicked one? What do you all mean by this? This thou shalt ask not, and thou hast transgressed, using you and excluding thyself. Thou shalt not exclude thyself from the collective body of the family, the collective body of the race, the collective body of the nation. Therefore, repeat after me. This is done because of what the Eternal did for me when I came forth from Egypt. The wicked wants always the last word for all the good it does. Had I been there, I would still not be worth my redemption. Nothing more may be eaten, a beating will take place in the laundry, naked. Honour thy father and mother. What, says the wise one? The testimonies, statutes, the judgments delivered by God, I accept. Nonetheless, though thou art wise, after the paschal offering there shall be no dessert. Honour thy father and mother. What, says the simple one? Asks merely. What is this? Is told. With might of hand, did our God bring us forth out of Egypt, from the mansion of bondage? Any more questions? Ask away and be damned. Honour thy father and thy mother. Yizbarach, Vistabach, Visboa, Visroman, Visnyasiech, Visyador, Visyaela, Vishalol, Shme, Dekucho, Brishu. I didn't know I could speak whatever that is. Praise death, who is our God. Live for death, who is our God. Die for death, who is our God. Blessed be your failure, which is our God. Oshe shalom, bimramo v'yashe shalom, olenu val kol Yisrael vimru omen. He who was never born and cannot inquire shall say, there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. There is a time to forgive and a time in which to be forgiven. After forgiveness, silence. Wow, Kaddish by Fay Zwicky. What an amazing piece of poetry. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to move on now. To Randolph Stowe, born in 1935 and passed away in 2010. He was a friend of Sidney Nolan, The Land's Meaning, and he wrote this for Sidney Nolan. The love of man is a weed of the waste place. The Land's Meaning. One may think of it as the spinifex of dry souls. I have not, it's true, made the trek to the difficult country where it's said to grow, but signs come back. Reports come back of continuing exploration in that terrain, and certain of our young men who turned in despair from the bar, upsetting a glass, and swore, "No more," for the tin room stank of fly spray, a sending word that the mastery of silence alone is empire. What is God, they say, but a man unwound in his loneliness? And the question, applauded and decided, falls like dust on veranda and bar and in pauses when thinking ceases. The footprints of the recently departed march to the mind's horizon and endure. And often enough, as we turn again and laugh, cloud, hide away the tracks with an acid word, there is one more gone past the door to stand, wondering and debating in the iron street, and toss a coin and pass to the township's end, where one-eyed Matt, eternal dealer in camels, grins in his dusty yard like split fruit. But one who's returned, his eyes blurred maps of landscapes still unmaps, gives this account. The third day, cockatoos dropped dead in the air. Then the crows turned black, the camels knelt down and stayed there. And a skin-coloured surf of sandhills jumped the horizon and swamped me. I was bushed for 40 years. And I came to a bloke all alone like a currajong tree, and I said to him, "Mate, I don't need to know your name. Let me camp in your shade. Let me sleep till the sun goes down." The Land's Meaning by Randolph Stowe. Next one by Randolph Stowe, Merry-Go-Round. This is the playground circumnavigation, the leap in space and safe return to land, past sea and hills, boats, trees, familiar buildings, back to the port of one assisting hand. Adventurers learn here, but do not venture from their circular continuous sweep. From start to start, where going is home turning, nothing is lost. What's won is all to keep. The gulls stop, stoop down, the big toy jerks and flies, and time is tethered where its centre lies. Merry-Go-Round by Randolph Stowe. Yeah. All right, well, that's our Western Australian poets for the evening. I am, well, as far as I'm aware, Rosemary Dobson was also a Western Australian poet, so there you go. Rosemary Dobson, that's what I'm going to be reading out of now, A Celebration, and I'm just going to be really random with this because I didn't actually get ready. Like Cockcrow, here we go. Cockcrow here is one of her books. Lovely tea. Cockcrow. Wanting to be myself alone between the lit house and town, I took the road and at the bridge turned back and walked the way I'd come. 3 times I took that lonely stretch. 3 times the dark trees closed around me round. The night absolved me of my bonds. Only my footsteps held the ground. My mother and daughter slept, one life behind me and one before. And that I that stood between denied their needs in shutting to the door. And walking up and down the road, knew myself separate and alone, cut off from human cries, from pain and love that grows about the bone. Too brief illusion, thrice for me, I heard the cock crow on the hill and turned the handle of the door, thinking I knew his meaning well. All right. The Artist Lecturing, a memory of Arthur Boyd. So long exposed to the dangers of his work, the great man spoke with calm and courtesy, answered their questions as they stared, intent, braced to a stiffened horror by assaults of demons, beasts, his alienating mind, those sexual conflicts. Still the slides came on, fixing their numbed sight to the very edge, above the hurl to Goya's ultimate feast. The talk was done, the artist gone away, the audience silent, one by one dispersed. Quitting the room, the building and the site, they walked, regardless, in the city streets. The traffic belching by, bulldozers, trucks, the killer carriers blackened with their smoke, and some saw him, aghast, bemused in fear, the great man trembling at the pavement's edge. The News and Weather by Rosemary Dobson. I smoothed the pelt of the hills with my long looking, and the hills rose up and stretched in the early light. In the home paddock along the river flats, black cattle doubled their height with morning shadow. I heard the currawongs cry as they swooped above me. The news they told was, you can't change the weather. And who would want to, walking out very early with pink and grey galahs tumbling from grass seeds? I picked a fig from the laden tree in the garden and heard a voice that spoke in a tongue of flame from the fiery sun behind the trembling tree top. You are lucky to be alive in these terrible times. I peeled back the green of the fig, breaking into its centre, galah-coloured, pink and grey, its 1,000 flowerlets, and ate of the fruit of the garden and understood the voice that seemed to flash in the air above. The message must be received, taken into one's being as knowledge is taken, biting on apple or fig, terrible times in the world that will not be changed, and I walking out on such a morning early. The News and Weather by Rosemary Dobson, poem published in Untold Lives and Later Poems in 2000. Excuse me. Yeah, well, okay, so that's Rosemary Dobson. Hey, guess what? This Saturday we've got, yes, Wayne Donnelly coming. He's a comedian hypnotist, and he's going to have a fantastic show. And you can get your tickets online from eventbewright.com, and yeah, check it out. And you can also check it out. Definitely come here, come and see it. It'll be funny as. And then on Sunday he's coming and doing a talk, a motivation mental health talk as well. So it'll be fantastic. Wayne Donnelly this weekend. Now, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up now while I'm just garling away, or a love heart, even better, and then write a comment to say how much you like these poems as I'm doing the poems, because it all helps in the metrics and the filtering to the people out there of this video Wednesday Words, both in Facebook and on YouTube world. All right, well, let's move along. I'll get to Judith Wright. Yeah, she was a local poet from around this area, Armadale Way, and this one's called Birds, and it's a lovely book, and every page has these lovely plates on it by different artists and whatever. All right, so let's start at the beginning with the peacock. Now, here's the picture of the peacock, the plate of the peacock plate. Have a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Yes, it's a white peacock. Never seen a white peacock. Looks pretty boring, actually. But anyway, let's move along. Lionel Lindsay, the white peacock, painted in 1925. Yeah, there you go. The peacock. Shame on the alderman who locked the peacock in a dirty cage. His blue and copper sheens are mocked by habit, hopelessness and age. The wary Sunday families along their gravelled paths repeat the pattern of monotonies that he treads out with restless feet. And yet the peacock shines alone, as if one metal feather fall, another grows where that was grown. Love clothes him still in spite of all. How pure the hidden spring must rise that time and custom cannot stain. It speaks its joy again, perhaps the older men are wise. There you go. The blue wrens and the butcher bird. Sweet and small the blue wren whistles to his gentle hen. The creek is full the day's gold, the tale of lovers never told. Fear not, my love, nor fly away, for safe in the blackburn tree. For we shall build our nest today, trust me, oh, trust to me. Cobwebs they gather and dry grass, greeting each other as they pass up to the nest and down again. The blue wren and the brown wren, they seek and carry far and near, down the bank and up the hill, until that crystal note they hear that strikes them dumb and holds them still. Great glorious passion of a voice, sure all that hear it must rejoice, but in the thorn bush silent hide the nest builders side by side. The blue wren's nestlings in and his wife, and he himself that spring of blue. I shall kill and hang them safe, the blackthorn spears shall run them through. Still and still the blue wren sits beside his cowering hen. There they wait like stone by stone until the butcher bird is gone. Then soft and sweet the blue wren twitters to his anxious hen. Trust to me, oh trust to me, I know another blackthorn tree. Lovely. Okay, eggs and nestling. This looks like it's about magpies. See, there's the magpies. Yep, beautiful. Egg and Nestlings by Judith Wright. The moss rose and the palings made a solemn and waiting shade, where eagerly the mother pressed a sheltering curve into a nest. Her tranced eye, her softened stare, warned me when I saw her there, and perfect as the grey nests round, 3 frail and powdered eggs I found. My mother called me there one day. Beneath the nest the eggshells lay, and in it throbbed the triple greed of one incessant angry need. Those yellow gapes, those starveling cries, how they disquieted my eyes. The shapeless furies come to me from shape's most pure serenity. Right, Judith Wright, beautiful poetry. Birds, check it out. Published by the National Library of Canberra with illustration from the National Library of Australia's Pictures Collection, and this was published in 2003. All right, now we've got James Macaulay, A World of Its Own, a collaboration that he did with Patricia Giles here. See? And so you go in here and you've got these lovely pieces of art and the poem. So this one goes with this, and it's called Cloud Light. Cloud Light. Long stillness of afternoon. The sky is ranged with terraces of grey. The sun rides in the north, abstruse. Above it, a narrow sinkhole brims with bluish-white ethereal light. Intensely incandescent below, a wider opening pours down, mild yellow rays dissolving to an area of silver sheen. On the transverse grey-green, subtle shifting textures of the waters of the bay. Lovely. Okay, here we go. There we go. This next one is called Granite Boulder. There's the boulder. It's a granite boulder. Picture. This boulder rolled and crashed and came to rest. How long ago? An isolate in the bush. Pink orthoclase. Black biotite. Glassy quartz. Coarse-grained from cooling underneath the earth. Lichen began to spread in light green patches and deeper green, and faded whitish colour. One face grew pitted like a honeycomb, where wind and rain scooped the long gravel out. The base was cut in, leaving an overhang, shelter for spiderwebs and orchids. Rock, brute rock, a density of silence, a spine bill tracing its normal arc around the corner, checks frantically at my immobile form, then darts off sideways through the scrub. Yes, lovely. All right, well, that's James Macaulay there. And we're coming close to the end of Chillin Tuesday. Tomorrow night we've got Wednesday Words here from the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Now, you don't have to be a poet or a pander if you want to come and have a listen, and also a gander. You can just come and sit real quiet and enjoy yourself for all of the night, and clap and cheer and give a shout when somebody speaks some poetry out. It will be good, of course. And if you've got a horse, bring it. But I don't know why. I mean, where you're going with your horse, but hey, it might be good. You can hook it up outside. But until we get a horse and you get here, you need to get here for poetry night tomorrow night, because it's very interesting and it's fun, and we'll be doing it out there in the big hall. All right. Okay, so I've written a little bit of poetry this week, but not a great deal. But here's a couple that I've done, like pauses. Pauses improve poetry delivery. Interrupt anger. Impregnate moments of self-reflection. Pauses assist in the course of nature, but never interfere in it. A pause is never really there. Pause is nothing. Food for thought, that. I'll just pause a moment. Scratch myself. Here we go. This is a Taoist philosophy poem. No good. No bad. It is what it is, neither happy nor sad. When the mystic masculine yang knows the mystic feminine yin begets the childish innocence of the Tao Te Ching. The whole universe is between white and black. Obscurity in fame, glory in humility. At the end of each road begins a new track. All roads are connected in a network of unity. Umbrellas do more than stop the rain. Breathing deeply increases chi. The righteous never feign. Source is infinite energy. I cannot change the world to conquer it as I see fit. The world would be spoilt. It's not my business to change it. Some things happen slowly and others faster. Some are vegan or eat meat or bread and pasta. There's tall, short, in between, trains late at the station. Letting what you can't control affect you causes anger and frustration. Water has no hands. Water must flow. It doesn't hold the banks. Let the dam water go. The scholar learns more in every way. Give me less knowledge, but more serenity every day. If I need to wait in line, please put me last so that I can experience life as vast. The important part of each cup is where there's nothing. The important part of a home is where there's nothing. The important part of a door is where there's nothing. The important part of a shirt is where there's nothing. Everything in nothing and nothing in everything. That's it. All right, another one. 5 days ago this one was written. Wisdom is, there's a lot I have to learn, so I'll listen till my ears burn. With knowledge and discern, question, perceive, wait my turn. Patiently nurture a fern, make an observation, critically analyse the situation, research, source, verification. Wisdom is the result of education when combined with action for generative creation. Wisdom is that, yeah, you want to hear that again? Wisdom is there's a lot I have to learn. So I'll listen till my ears burn, with knowledge and discern, question, perceive, wait my turn, patiently nurture, affirm, make an observation, critically analyse the situation, research, source, verification. Wisdom is the result of education when combined with action for generative creation. All right. Here we go. Oh, yeah, okay. So I was doing a bit of surrealism writing, yeah, which is basically sort of like automatic writing. You just write down whatever comes to mind. But anyway, it wasn't really. Anyway, it came out with quite an interesting rhyming scheme. It's sort of like an A, B, B, A, A. It's a 5-line rhyming scheme. A, B, B, A, A. Okay, surrealism. Fish, a frog, a pig and a bulldog lived in a giant gourd with both water and air. Each day the fish asked the dog, "May I plait your hair?" The bulldog replied with its eyes agog, "My hair isn't long enough because I'm a bulldog." The frog hopped off to the butcher's shop and ordered a bone. Then the pig began to eat a taxi driver's hat. There was a knock at the gourd door and in walked a cat, Edit, that just started taking selfies with all the other animals' smartphones, then proceeded to lay out a barrier of traffic control cones. The two sons became one and then suddenly split into three. The moon had absolutely no idea where to go. In the hottest part of the Sahara, it began to snow. Here's me with a Coke bottle lid flying over the ocean free, needing $1 million to stop the monster eating 11-year-old me. Approaching the giant gourd, "Oh my God," was all I could say as an automatic landing pad appeared. To see if this was real, I pinched myself, pulled my beard. I'm in a lucid dream. I'm sleeping, but in a landing pad. So I materialised a psytrance DJ and we danced for a night and a day. A fish, a frog, pig, bulldog, cat, DJ, also me, called all of our friends and invited them to a dance. They were all kinds of animals and people wearing psychedelic pants. When the dance was over, we flew home across the sea. You might not believe it, but I dreamed surreal and lucidly. Yeah, so that's pretty much, that's what that is. One last question before I go for the end. Oh, one last question. Okay. If a horse ate a fly, would it be a flying horse? Of course. Okay. All right, last one. Airbender. Airbender. There's a divine energy that flows through you and me. With consistent dedication and focus, you can raise, and it's called chi. It comes from a geometric connected field all around as a source that animates all living things and provides life with a force. It's an internal lightning and you can move it up and down, absorb it from the quantum field and send it flying all around. Learn meditation, breathing, get lithe, flexible and light as a master energy bender. You'll spark up in the night. Then you can have access to the source that gives energy to me. Unblock, focus, raise, and send sparks of lightning called chi. Boom. I'm thundercloud. I'm finished. And I'm allowed to do anything I want. Because no one's there to stop me. But anyway, I'm thundercloud, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rain. Thank you very much for joining us tonight here on Chillin Tuesdays. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a comment, and share it too while you're at it. Yeah, because the more people that hear poetry, the better the world will be. Of course, because poetry really is wonderful. All right, we got anything to think? Air all around, water, fire, within, earth below, ether is everything. All right, that's it. Well, we'll see you tomorrow night here from the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame with Wednesday Words. And hopefully you'll come here and have a visit and listen. See you later.